everyone, this is my low barrier to entry video that I am trying to film myself as I talk, and for these book reviews and seeing how it goes. If I enjoy this enough, I'll put more effort in the future. I'm just forcing myself to be on camera right now. I want to say my hair looks a little crazy because I slept in French braids. This one has failed me because I did it wrong. This one I did it more right and stayed together. And so I wanted to kind of wrap that into the topic of practice is key. And this comes with meditation. Meditation is so important. And we're going over the Dhammapada, which is essentially a collection of Buddhist scriptures. And he really does delve into meditation and how important it is to meditate. The Buddha means the awakened one. And what's interesting is I feel like we're going to go through a lot of how he came up and what his teachings are, and then we're going to do an overall overview of how to become an awakened one ourselves, how to lead our lives according to the Buddha. So his real name is Prince Siddhartha, and I will try not to butcher any of these names. So he was born in 563 BC. His full name is Siddhartha Gautama. He ruled the lands at the foot of the Himalayas, him and his father, the king. His father is the one who requested for Siddhartha not to be exposed to tragedy and to get whatever he desired. If he desired something, he would get it right away. And when he was younger, apparently Siddhartha was great at archery. And there's a story about him and his cousin, and his cousin's out there, and he shoots down a bird and kills it. And Siddhartha's like, why would you kill that animal? It's not yours. And he's like, yeah, it is. I shot it. It's mine. And then Siddhartha replies with, to whom should any creature belong? To him who tries to kill it, or to him who saves its life? He's already kind of a deep guy before his realization. This is prior to his coming to be the all-knowing or the awakened one. So then Buddha had a cousin named Yeshuhata, and I know I'm not saying that right, and I apologize. Okay, I'm really trying. Yeshuhata. And she wanted to choose her husband through an archery competition. So there was one guy who had shot into the bullseye, and the Buddha came and he said, "Pachoo!" and it went through that arrow that shot through the bullseye and split it in half. It just went through it. So he won. He married her, and then they had a son named Rahul, which is the English pronunciation because I'm English, so I'm not trying to butcher any more names. I'm done butchering the names. And so at around 29 years old, the king allowed Siddhartha to explore beyond the kingdom, because he was really wanting to. He was basically trying to bargain with him. So he's like, fine. But when the king does, he makes sure everybody in the towns, goes out and celebrates and hides all of the bad things out there, like disease, old age, etc. But even so, as Siddhartha traveled outside, he caught a glimpse of this old man who had, his eyes were just glazed over with sickness, his cheekbones caved in. And let me see the guy, his charioteer, I believe is Chana. He asked him, so he's like, what is that? And he said, disease. And he learned about disease. Second time he comes out, he catches his eye on a wrinkled woman, and he asks, is that a disease? And his charioteer again was like, no, that's old age. Third time, he found this bear for cremation. He's like, what is that? Like a tree log or something? And he's like, no, it's death. So he learns about death and people dying. He learned that even his own child would die one day. And then his fourth time, he sees a man sitting upright with closed eyes. And he asks, is that man dead? And the chariot's like, no. I would try not to butcher this name either, but no, he's a bhiksu. And those are the spiritual awakened ones who do through yoga, which is meditation, is yoga. And so I think that's kind of what started, put a little light in Siddhartha's eye and saying, why don't we all live that way? Why don't we all search for that spiritual awakening? So Siddhartha decided to venture on his own and find out what lies beyond the other side of yoga. So he finds this, this takes years, okay? This isn't like immediate, but he finds the sacred fig tree and he meditates under it, and then he comes across Mara. I'm going to read you kind of how they describe Mara. So they say Mara is death and every selfish passion that ties us to the mortal bodies. So Mara's anything that ties us here to this earth, to this realm of illusion, of this, we are nothing but these bodies, and we want to continue within these bodies to fulfill our selfish desires, be it wealth, comfort, sex, food, prestige, whatever. I almost said pristine, but prestige. And so it's like overcoming everything that we hold dear, and attachments to people, to things, to circumstances, whatever, right? And so Mara kept trying to tempt Buddha. He's like, here's this, or whatever, you want this, or whatever. And the Buddha was like, no. And he was able to refuse it all and overcome selfish desire. And that's what allowed him to move on to the next realm of being completely awakened. And so that from then on, he wanted his life duty to be to help other people get there and to understand what it is. And so we're going to start off with his teachings when he returns, with the Four Noble Truths on page 43 of this book. I also wanted to include this cute little story because I thought it was really cute how his wife, when he came back, we find out that she heard that he was sleeping on the ground, so she slept on the floor with him. And he also had a daughter as well by then. So he had a son and daughter, but anyway. And then she also found out that he was eating less and less, so she starved herself with him. And that was just the sweetest, I don't know, that I know, to me it's just romantic. That she didn't want him, she loved him so much that she didn't want him to suffer alone or go through this process alone. Even though she was not physically with him, she was experiencing some of the things that he was having to give up with him. I just thought that was kind of sweet. Anyway, so the Four Noble Truths, here we go. These are on the shorter side. And so the rest of my notes are on my computer. That's why I have this blue light coming out at me. So number 1, life is change, and change can never satisfy desire because desire wants things to be in a specific way, but you have to accept that it will never stay that way. Nothing will ever stay the exact same. They always change, constant change. And we learned that, was it the Bhagavad Gita, I believe? It was one of the books that we had read. And they were just saying that, that's part of life. Everything changes, even the way, a ripple of a river is not the same ripple that comes down to the, future ripple. If you're in the same part of the river, one wave is not the same wave every time. It's a new wave each time. Something like that. I think that could have been the Kybalion. But anyway. Number 2, we have... It is not life that brings sorrow, but the demands that we make on life. It that ties into the first one kind of thing. It's not allowing yourself to accept change and saying that you want it to be a specific way. But if you let go of how you want it to be, then your demands on life are gone, and sorrow will be too. And number 3, any ailment that can be understood can be cured, and suffering that has a cause also has an end. Alright, so everything is going to end, including pain. So understanding any kind of suffering is also not forever. That's part of the change. So that's the positive side of change. And number 4, selfishness can be extinguished by understanding right purpose, right speech, right conduct, right occupation, right effort, right attention, and right meditation. So it's all about intention, right? You can overcome selfishness by practicing selflessness in every other aspect of your life, and kind of just reminding yourself to keep that as the forefront. So those are the 4 noble truths that we have to accept. Alright, so now we're going to go into some of the importances of meditation. On page 46, it says, meditation trains your mind to release selfish desire. Your mind will become calm and kind. So it's helpful to become into that one-mindedness, one-centered, right? One-pointed mindedness, so that you don't have all these other thoughts and things roaming around, and it just helps you to become more centered and more just focused and aware of your intentions and thoughts. And meditation can help you practice within that spectrum, okay? Now, the Buddha goes into the different 4 levels of meditation, which is also the dhyanas. And so this is like the levels that you can expect as you go deeper and deeper into meditation. So level 1 is mastery of the senses. You're cutting out the chain of thoughts that draw you in. You're focused in on one-minded focus. All right, so that's 1. Level 2, the rush of thinking, the thinking process has slowed to a crawl, okay? Instead of continuous thoughts, they get broken down into snapshots. You experience life as you would experience the movie. You can get caught up in the action and emotions as if you're actually in the movie, making assumptions as the character does. The mind is aware of any thoughts passing by, but not disturbed. Why it does not turn into a thought stream. Okay, that's why it does not turn into a thought stream, because we're not getting totally sucked in. We can still feel some of the emotions, but we're not like so disturbed that it's like, we're going along with it. We're kind of more separated outside of it, more watching it like a movie versus being in it, being immersed in the life, all right? Level 3, the mind can go into no thought. What's in between 2 thoughts? So that's what that is. It's the realm between 2 thoughts is no thought. The mind can go into that a little bit more, but it can only yet hold it for a brief moment. The joy of this experience is so intense that you will desire and want it again. It requires patience to stay there longer. Feels like a thin veil between yourself and the rest of creation. In waking life, there should be no I and my, but more of an effort to see yourself in all. Karma can't be erased, but comes more balanced with selfless service. Eventually time stops and intense joy enters. The experience can't last, like a diver coming up for air. The imprint left will let you know you're imperishable, and you will be charged from this experience to serve all of life. And then number 4, this is the 4th level, the highest. The experience of unity has to be repeated over and over until the seeds of conditional instinct of the mind ceases to sprout once you return to waking. Even in dreams, you are a part of the oneness. Buddha gained nothing through meditation, but lost sickness, depression, anger, insecurity, burden of old age, and fear of death. So essentially, it's like even when you come out on the 4th level, even when you come out of the meditation, you're still kind of in it. Like you're still feeling that oneness. There's no leaving it. Once you cross that barrier, you're there forever. It's just stuck with you. So selfless desires cease to be. And they also say it's important as you're training for meditation is to make sure you're living that way in your wakeful life as well. You're making sure to serve and give and be selfless, and that all contributes to your meditation time and to being able to release certain things as fear and sexual desire is one of the hardest things to release. And so that's one of those. It's all part of going to help you get to that deeper level of meditation that you want to get to. All right. On 156, page 156, it says, plunge deep into meditation and see for yourself what you discover about self and life. So it's all about not just learning from a yogi or a guru, it's about your own experience, your own, you need to do the work. This is how you become awakened. This is how you can let your light shine out to others so that they can become inspired and experience that kind of level and deepness of true selflessness and love. And so you have to become that yourself, and the only way is not through memorization, it's through experience for yourself. And so that's why he really hones in, please meditate and see for yourself what is there, so that it's not just what he's experiencing and what he's relaying, it's like something that for sure as your own truth. And I think that's very, very important. Page 206, meditation brings wisdom. Lack of meditation leaves ignorance. So he says, to be wise, one must meditate. You cannot be wise without meditating. The next topic we're going to kind of go into is mind. So what's going on up here? Boop, boop. So on page 86, he mentions our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think about. One of the most famous quotes from Siddhartha here, or the Buddha. So we shape our entire lives and what we bring forth into it by our mind. That's how powerful it is. Page 89, it says, there is no real world apart from perceiving it. The world is shaped by the structure of our consciousness, which I find interesting. It's hinting at that whole illusion concept, which we will go further into once I get into reality transurfing. It's all a part of that, and this also hints back into Hinduism, when it's kind of just, mentioning this whole illusion thing, and that this world is here to help create us to get over our karma, get over doing the desires and selfishness, and so this whole place is kind of almost like a setup. There's so many different sources that are hinting this place being an illusion and being a play, and what we see is what our mind is shaping. It's what it's connecting it and making sense of it, our little human minds, to make it make sense to us. But in reality, this isn't the ultimate. This is just this world. This is just Maya, right? This is Maya. This is the illusion inside of God's mind, right? So this isn't the actual everything, the full picture. All right, so it's just kind of hinting at that. Page 106, it says, lives will come to an end soon, and so will our quarrels. So it kind of hints back to those Four Noble Truths, knowing that any pain and suffering will end, so don't cling on to them. Don't let them come and scar you. Don't hold on to them, because everything will come to an end. Don't you worry. And that's the kind of the positive side of death. Again, it's just not to, or they call them samskaras. Don't bring them with you everywhere, because you know that it's not going to be there forever. It's impermanent. Just be in the moment. Be present. Page 111 says, we don't need hell to look for the devil, because the mind is the devil, because it's quick, it's fickle, it's difficult to focus. It's in the realm of Mara, the mind itself. So you're fighting against your own mind. That is your ultimate thing you have to overcome, is your mind. Page 118 says, do not give your attention to what others do or fail to do. Give it to what you do or fail to do. All right? It's kind of like the same thing that's in the Bible, where it's don't be pointing out the dust in someone else's eye when you got the stick in yours, kind of thing. Focus on what you're doing. Become awakened yourself. Put that in that work. Page 175 says, one must accept life's true nature's change. Then joy can be found in one's natural state. Joy is not a sensation based on what's going on, but a state of consciousness unaffected by pleasure and pain. It's just joy for being here in the moment, being able to experience this life, being able to experience everything around it, and the oneness consciousness itself. On page 177, it says, "Let us live in freedom, without hatred, even amount to those who hate, and who hate us do not hate." It's just saying, be free of hatred. Page 188, it says, "No sorrow can befall those who never try to possess people or things as their own." So it's going again, not having those desires of possessing people and things. Release that. Release that. That's part of what's holding us back. All right, and then 170, page 170 kind of brings back the mind and meditation together into one piece. So that's why I wanted to include it. 170 says, "Driven by fear, people flee to the mountains, but nowhere can be safe refuge," right? Without freeing the mind from fear. It doesn't matter if you try to hide, try to put it away, try to forget about it. The mind is what's holding the fear. So it's saying, take refuge in going beyond suffering with meditation. All right, into the Four Noble Truths and into your own Dharma, into your natural state. What is it? Again, this goes back to the scorpion story that we had read in the Bhagavad Gita about the man saving the scorpion, getting stung, and they're like, "Why are you still saving that scorpion? It keeps hurting you." And he's like, "That's the scorpion's dharma, is to hurt. It's protecting itself. And my dharma is to want to save." And so that kind of gives you an idea what dharma is the natural state as you're created to be. And so that's part of what you have to do, is becoming more into that, more into meditation, because meditation, again, releases everything. It goes beyond fear and desire. And it really does train your brain into the nothingness, so you can feel that oneness. Crazy, huh? 224, so these are more just extra quotes that I thought were important to mention. So 224 says, "Eating too much, sleeping too much, like an overdose, I think I might put overweight hog. Those too lazy to exert effort are born again and again." So it's about that karmic cycle. If you don't want to put in effort, if you just want to enjoy the pleasures of life, of eating and sleeping, then you're going to keep getting born over and over again until you can break that. 229, "Expel selfish desire, but keep unselfish." So he's saying it's important to have a desire. It's not about having no desire at all, but it's about having unselfish desire, okay? And this unselfish desire is about dissolving one's egotism, dissolving one's view of being separate, oneself, and selfless service of all. Desire to have selfless service for all, to serve yourself. Okay, that's what your desire should be. 230, "Any craving for an experience that one thinks will add personal pleasure, comfort, or happiness is an expression of selfish desires. Sex is the most powerful one of all. Others include wanting to be separate, extinguishing that existence, killing people, strengthening one's individuality, so being even more separate, being more for wealth, fame, and power." All right, and then, so, yeah, what we're going to end it on is what a true Brahmin is like, a true awakened one, a true mastery of himself. So we're going to go ahead and go in depth. This is going to pretty much encapsulate everything that was taught, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish with this. It says, "A true Brahmin will go beyond passions, likes and dislikes, and be free from fear. The mind can be stilled, never angered, never causes sorrow, does not cling to pleasure. He shall be filled with the truth of life and the love for all, free from selfish desire, and trains the senses through meditation. He never asks, 'What can life give to me?' Only, 'What can I give to life?' free from the bondage of human beings and nature itself. So it's about releasing through meditation and becoming that true oneness, being truly selfless, and saying, what can I bring to life? What can I give to this life? And that is what truly encompasses a lot of Buddhist teachings, is learning to become a master in meditation, feeling yourself go through those 4 levels until you can reach the being awakened. And through that, you can release all desire, fear, and want to do nothing but bring selfless service and to live in your Dharma. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to this new book review. It's going to be a while before the next one because I am currently reading a book about film sets. So I'm taking a small little break from spirituality, but I'm going to be right back to it right after that. But stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for my mom's own experience, someone who does not really get too much into spirituality but is on more in the Christian side. It will be interesting to see what her perspective is on Michael Singer and Eckhart Tolle. So also look out for that video, as that will be coming eventually soon. So yes, thanks guys, have a great day, and make sure to meditate.